What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy and we're back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. How much progress can you make in a month in the game? We're going to have a look at what is my 4th or 5th start in the game. So I've been through this process a lot, I've learned a lot from it. I've got 10 tips that I think are going to really help you out, whether you're a low spender like $1 a day up to that, or whether you're completely free to play. I think these tips are going to be quite helpful. We're going to go through the new account that we've built in the last 30 days and show you the progress we've made, talk about where to focus your time, energy, resources, talk about champions, talk about all sorts of stuff. I think it will be a big help. We'll do the account review first, then we'll do the tips. I will timestamp all of it. If you do enjoy Raid Shadow Legends, thumbs up brightens my day, and consider subscribing. We're going to carry on building out teams and showing all the comps that we come up with, and hopefully you'll find some of this content useful. So, daily login reward 30, we've got it, it's high Katoon. Haven't quite finished the dailies today because we've got CVC coming up, but once we've done them today we're going to get another void and another sacred shard. So I guess starting us off by looking at our roster of champs, which is always the fun part. We've got 3 6 stars. You should be aiming for roughly a 6-star a week at the early part of the game. Now, it might be a little bit slower, particularly around this Christmas period. We've had the Yuletide thing on, the Torment, the current fusion, so there have been some distractions away from champion training, but I think if you're aiming for 1 a week, except it's going to be a little bit slower, particularly if you pull other champions who you wish to invest in. But 1 a week is a good kind of rule of thumb. We'll talk about how to do that in the tip section, I guess. Kael's completely done with his masteries, which is great. Torogi is completely done with masteries. Both of those were built with gems. Again, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Ugo needs her masteries doing. We've got pretty much enough food to do 1 more 6-star because we've got 1 of the 5-star chickens done. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 level 4 stars quite close. We've got a bunch of 30 saved up and a bunch of 3 stars. Just been waiting for CVC to pop these things through. We've got Shiramani, good control champion, consideration for 60, but we're not going to do her next. We're going to build a clan boss team with Valerie. Possibly a slight mistake, I've purchased her masteries because my team's going to be her and marked for the increased defense. So that will be 1, 2, 3 of them with full masteries. I can now clear minnow 15, so we're going to stop buying masteries because it is a bit of a waste, and we're going to run marked and Ugo through to get the rest of them and a bit of XP. We have had some gold on the account. We've got lucky. We've had a Shamrock who is a decent champ. Haven't really invested in him too much. Useful in Doomtown. Currently is in the clan boss team, but will be getting replaced once we finish the other 2 champs. We got Holstring, worst legendary in the game. Hopefully he gets buffed in the next patch, but still a level 50 champ is going to be handy in the early month. Does some turn meter steal. I'm going to build him out this CVC. I'm hoping there's going to be some fun stuff to do. Deacon Armstrong was our free champion through a promo code. Good champion, going to keep him for Arena. Magnar, again, AoE, HP nuker, really want to build this guy, but we're going for the clan boss team as our primary focus, so maybe he'll be the next one in the queue. Of course, everybody got Giscard, he's another decent champ. We're going to leave him at 40, I think, for the time being. Rector Drath and Zargala are probably the other 2 main ones for consideration to 50 and 60 because they're force affinity, and we're absolutely swimming in lots of magic champions. Getting an Armiger to 50 is pretty much a priority for if you want to progress at all in Fire Knight. This turn meter control is amazing, so he's a free champ that we can pick up. We've got a bunch of other epics, and High Katoon obviously we just picked up with speed lead, AoE speed up and turn meter fill is another champ. Scabrius, again, somebody we can invest in. And this morning I opened my shards just to do some dailies, and we got Petrified Rock Roots. So medium to long term, she's going to be better poisoner than Kael. She's going to do decreased defense on her A1. So again, she's somebody we could build out. But for the moment, I'm going to stick with the original plan for clan boss, which is Kael, Torogi, Ugo, Valerie, and marked. So Force clan boss is going to absolutely slap us because we've got all magic, but it just is what it is. So they're the champions we've got. Now, we did have a 2x for Ancients. We got very lucky with the shard pulls, and we just got an insane amount of epics out of it. I've opened 2 Sacreds on the account so far, both had legendaries in, so of course that's been really good luck. But ultimately, these champs aren't essential. Of course, more puzzle pieces you have, then the easier it is to fit them together. So that is the roster. So campaign, we've got normal completely cleared, void shard done. We've got hard completely cleared, sacred picked up. Brutal, I've cleared up to the 100 gems. I haven't done the 3 legendary skill terms because I haven't decided if I want to book Shiramani or not, but I think 12-3 might be a stretch anyway. You generally need an unkillable champ to clear that to get the sacred, but we could come up and mop some of these points up and get on to the next set. Nightmare, I haven't pressed into this at all. Again, another goal at some point will be to press on to Palace of Aravia so we can get some 6-star speed stuff, particularly boots, and maybe Valdemar straight, but it requires so much energy. It's so slow that at the moment I've just kind of put that on the back burner. That's where we are with the campaign. Looking at dungeons, the potion keeps, I tend to try and spend as little time in these as possible. Potions you get from clan boss every day, but of course there are quests that you have to do for them, and sometimes you might just need a little top up, but we could probably do somewhere in the region of stage 10 to 12, 13 on all of them. They're not particularly massively challenging, but the goal will be to get up to kind of like 15 ASAP and then move on from there. Minnow, we have finally cleared 15. I do have an auto team that does it. All that we have to do is on the presets disable, is it this one? No, it's at the bottom. All we have to do is disable Shiramani's AoE freeze for the second wave, because if you've got 2 control champs on a stage, you might want to split up their control abilities so that wave 1 is crowd controlled by Taragi with his provoke, wave 2 is controlled by Shiramani with their freeze, because otherwise they'll both do the control move on wave 1, you'll breeze through wave 1, you'll get to wave 2, and you might start losing champions. Again, goal to press on with this is to somehow remove a couple of these champs to get the run done with just like Kael and Taragi, and then you'd be able to level up, get XP, get masteries on other champs you want to invest in. But again, that's something to do. But obviously really pleased to get 15 done. Ice Golem, haven't really pressed on from 12. I think today in CVC we're going to book up Taragi. Then we're going to put some books in Ugo. If we can get Ugo a bit better, I will go for this stage 13 because we do start to get 6-star gear. But at the moment, the Ice Golem just seems to hit a little bit too hard, and I just think it's going to be, it's like a bit dodgy on 12 sometimes. I haven't tried this for like probably a good 10 days, but we're pretty close to getting 13 done. 6-star gear, of course, is going to be very important, and yeah. None of these sets are amazing to start off with. Reflex we might want, Cursed we might want for Hydra, Resistance for Arena, Retaliation, there's some stuff you can do with it. Overall, these sets are all kind of crap. You don't want them, so I'm not too bothered, but we will be able to get on to 13. And then, of course, the next target is going to be 16, because then when we come to do events, we don't get Bruise anymore or Mystery Shards. So pretty close on this. I think there's a good chance we could maybe even get this done now, but once we've improved some of the champs in CVC, I'm sure it'll be busted out. Spider is a struggle. We can do 10. It's pretty slow. We just don't have enough AoE damage. The AoE champs that I can think to bring that we can get for free are both Spirit Affinity, so that's Zephyr Sniper and Shield Guard, so I don't think they're going to be particularly useful in stage 10. We could back off and build a stage 9 team with either one or both of those champs to up the AoE damage, so that's something we could do, or of course we can currently do 8 pretty fast. It's unlikely we're going to get an AoE HP burn for a while, so we do need to build up some more AoE damage. Getting to stage 13 for 6-star, of course, would be nice, but at the moment my main goal is going to be to improve the stage 10 team, because stage 10 is bugged and gives actually quite good rewards for tournaments. That would allow us to complete pretty much any Spider tournament for Fusion, so that's definitely on the to-do list, again, once we've improved the champs. This is just a bit of RNG. It depends who you picked up in your champion pool as to how easy this is. Like if you've got a Bella out of Void Shard, this is be a complete breeze. Fellhound, again Void, complete breeze. But yeah, that's something that I need to put some time into. But when you get to the tips for how to progress your account, you'll understand why. 13 Dragon, definitely a main goal point to get to. Doing this pretty comfortably in like a minute and a half, which is nice. Potentially we can get some 6-star gear. We then just need to press on to 16, so hopefully over the next month that will kind of be a definite goal to get to 16 on Dragon. All this of course on normal. Finite is one of the more difficult dungeons. It does require a specific team. We've got that legendary champion from the Sacred Order who does the turn meter steal, so I think maybe we give him some gear and we might well be able to start doing stage 10. I like using Armigers to keep the turn meter down. That's my preferred strategy, is get the shield down, keep it down. So 11 is going to be a bit difficult. 12 and then 13 I think could be doable because we've got Deacon, we've got an Armiger. We can't use our legendary Stilt's turn meter, but again there are other solutions, but it's another work in progress. Really good sets in Finite, so it is something again we do wish to improve. But if we could get this stage done, which again once we've built out our legendary champ today, I think we will be able to do this pretty comfortably, and that'll be 4 to 5-star gear, which is at least decent, and then bridge on into 13 and then 16 from there. But that's going to take probably a couple of months. I think by the time we next do this we might be at 13, we might not be, we might be at 12. We'll just have to sort of see where we are. Sand Devil can't clear the first stage at the moment, it's too difficult. Phantom Shogun the same, it's just too difficult at the moment, so no real time spent on those. Faction Wars, we can clear bosses on a few of the stages, so Dark Elves, Sacred Order, Shadowkin, and I think that's it. We're very close on Demon Spawn. We're going to be quite close, I think, on Ogryn Tribes, and we're quite close on Bannerlords and High Elf. So next time, I mean, do press on with this stuff because there's energy, there's books, there's shards. This is all the stuff we want to get. Some of these factions are really underdone. Orcs, because we haven't built Zargala out. Undead, Lizardmen, Skinwalkers, some are rubbish, but we're trying to get up as many stars as we can. Barbarian should potentially be doable now. We've got some champs, we just need to invest in them. And you want to basically get to past the first boss on as many of these as possible as fast as you can, because not only does it give you the ability to complete your advanced quest every day, it also gives you super juicy rewards for the forge to make stuff. Arena, I haven't, and this is one of my tips, this is quite funny, I haven't bothered to build a proper arena team. I've just made it so that Deke is faster than Kael. So again, realistically I should spend a bit of time building out a couple more champions arena specific to have like Kael go last to make sure they're fully debuffed or his damage is increased with increased attack. It's been on the to-do list, but I'm happy at silver 2 at the moment. We can find plenty of fights each day. It is getting harder the further my account goes up, but again, it's with this CVC I'm hoping to make some improvements. Tag Arena is an area that you want to be putting quite a bit of time into because you can grab extra energy. So we've got 1500 bars, which is a decent amount. Been saving up again for the CVC. Fragment wise, bat on with Drexler, bat on with these 2 Void people if you want to build yourself out a what's the dude's name, Broadmoor. So come in here, fuse these champs, fuse these 2 with these uncommons, collect up your fragment summons and fuse them up if you need a reviver, because he is fairly decent to be fair. But other than that, we're trying to get basically to Drex as quick as we can. Not always possible to max out your full tokens. We're only at 16 out of 100, so he will come hopefully again in a few months time, 3 months time from now maybe. We'll have him. He's a good champion, he's worth taking the time to invest in, but we're still in bronze 1. I can't get any higher because I can't set decent defenses. Clan boss, we are currently, we can probably 4-key Brutal, simply because we've got Troggy the Froggy who does a lot of poisons when he gets hit. Other than that, it depends where the affinity lies as to how good we do. So like we've only done 5-6 million on hard today, but I think that was on void, and void's not very good for us because we need Taraji to get hit twice. So we're not a million miles away from like being able to 1 key hard. It's probably a 2 key. Brutal, we could chuck 2 keys into that, or we can do 2 in hard, or 1 in easy, 1 in normal, 1 in hard, 1 in brutal, and we are getting like chests every day. Again, the team isn't quite finished at the moment, so yeah, it's a work in progress. If we did just plow everything into brutal, I'm pretty sure most days we'd get the top chest, which would be great. 6 potions, chance for void shards, epics books. So the clan I'm in at the moment isn't doing brutal every day, so I might ask to be moved up to the next clan in the cluster after this, just to make sure that I'm in somewhere that's getting brutal done every single day. But again, that's something else. Hydra can't really touch it. It's just does no damage. We're too early. We don't have the gear. We don't have the champs. We haven't built it. We're just focused on clan boss to start off with. Doom Tower. Got past bomber with Burungiri on the floor 1. The Scarab. We could do this, but unfortunately, I've geared my Armiger in Relentless, and that is going to be a real problem because whenever we get the extra turn proc, we would lose the shield, because we did get quite fortunate and get ourselves a Metal Shaper. So we do have the shield available to us if we built the guy out. Where is he? Is he in here? We've got one somewhere. He's in one of these vaults. But yeah, we've got Metal Shaper. Rare Lizardman, really, really useful for the Scarab. Because we can book him. We might do that for this CVC because he is going to be a useful champion. 2-turn shield on a 2-turn cooldown. The issue is that I don't really want to take Armiger out of the Relentless gear. We've got some really nice Relentless pieces, and his A1 Fire Ice is just amazing. 30% turn meter reduction, 12% chance to get an extra turn. Really, really nice. So if we get lucky in this CVC, we'll get a Blood Ring for him, and that will give him a shield when he attacks, in which case he can stay in Relentless. Or the other option is we build a second Armiger and we put him in a Destroy set to defeat the Scarab max HP. But at the moment, I haven't even attempted it because I just know we can't do it. Without shields, the counter attack will just kill us. We're too early. We could clear Secret Room 1. Secret Room 2 is HP only. We do have some champs we could build. We've got Gnarlhorn, who's a really interesting champ. Spymaster is someone I'm thinking of leveling for the Magic Keep. Magnar's great, Taragi's great. Mugstalker we do need for the Sand Devil. So we've got some options. We could build this out, but again, looking as we've only got 3 days left, I think we're just going to probably call it a day at 19, and that's that. Curse City not unlocked yet. The roster obviously is small at the moment, so there's probably not much that we can do. So that's kind of where the account is. Great Hall wise, obviously we're focusing heavily on magic because that's going to be the clan boss team. I need to make a decision as to whether we're doing defense, crit damage, or attack to focus on, because some of the later arbiter missions revolve around getting these bonuses up quite high. I might just simply go for defense because it benefits everybody, and with perception gear in the game now, it's a bit easier to build accuracy than it used to be back in the day. Right, so that is the account. Let's move on and talk about tips. Okay, tip number 1. You want to spend 90% of your first month doing campaign and about 10% doing dragon. Now, you only need a level 50 to beat 9-3 on brutal, so that's going to give you loads of XP, loads of silver. It's going to give you access to good champions like War Maiden and Shield Guard, so you don't need to sweat 60 the first week of the game. Just get to here on brutal, do it with your 50 level Kael, 50 level Aethel, Elhain or whatever. Then, of course, you do want to press on to 12-3 brutal as fast as you can, because at this point, whether it's a week, 10 days, whatever it is into the game, you're now getting the same XP as a level 100 endgame player. This is a great place to spend your time in an early game account because there's no disadvantage, you're getting the same XP. Another couple of reasons why you want to spend a lot of time in the campaign is because it's the fastest way to gain account levels. That is really handy because what it means is that on your progression rewards, you get these much faster. So you'll get your gems, you'll get your books, all that stuff. Also, you'll unlock content faster, such as Altar of Souls, The Forge, Tavern Market, Tag Arena, all that stuff. So it's great to spend your time there. And the final reason, of course, is this game, as we say, is a puzzle game. There's plenty of champions you can collect on the way that will help you, such as Greybeard for a good control champion with their AoE freeze and provoke on its 8-1. You can get yourself Spirit Host to do your Faction Guardian crypts to buff up your Kael or whatever. There's plenty of decent champs that you can pick up along the way. You can get lifesteal gear, you can get yourself Templar, you can get yourself speed gear, get yourself an Heiress with an AoE speed up. There's lots of things, lots of reasons to play the campaign, and that's where you need to spend 90% of your time. The other 10% is Dragon. Mainly that's because you want to get some lifesteal gear and you want to get some speed gear. Accuracy is also kind of okay. And Toxic might be useful for early game clan boss, and Stalwart again is useful as well, so decent place to farm. Okay, tip number 2, shards. For the first 7 days or so, just open everything. If you get yourself a Sacred, avoid an Ancient Poppet, because you're looking to build a roster out of 4 or 5 decent champions that at least have the beginnings of a clan boss team. So looking at our roster and what we did, obviously we started with Kael, so he's going to be our poisoner. We got a Marked, which is brilliant because she does defense up on a 3-turn for 2-turn cooldown, so I know we can go and get Valerie from the campaign as a buff extender, and that means we'll have increased defense for an entire clan boss fight. So that's 1, 2, 3 of the spots done. Pulled a Taraji, great, and then pulled a Nuke, so we can stop kind of pulling at this point. High Katoon you get at 30, she's a good clan boss champ, increased speed and turn meter fill. She's useful in other areas of the game with a decreased speed and turn meter reduction. Not an ideal clan boss champion, but certainly good enough. Similarly, we got Giscard for free. If we hadn't already had Marked, then we could have used him to build him out. You don't have to have these specific champions, just you're looking for something with like attack down. So Bog Walker from the Lizard Men would be a great pull, because he does the big version of attack down. A Coffin Smasher is an amazing champion. If you get him even just out of an Ancient Shard, brilliant. Decreased attack, HP burn, takes less damage from AoE. Frozen Banshee, Petrifier, Rock Roots. There's over 800 champions in the game, guys. There's plenty that you can guess out of your shards with a little bit of luck. Now, if let's say you crap out on the luck, well, what you need to do is you need to then be potentially looking for other champs. So we'll get on to that, I guess, in a future tip. Okay, tip number 3 is going to be what you want to do is on normal and hard, you want to at least get to all these gem markers and get them completely busted out. And then same for the Arbiter missions at the bottom. You want to make sure you're getting this first one done as soon as possible because you want to get some gems. So focus on those. After this, don't sweat the Arbiter missions because the golden rule of this game, which is going to be a future tip, is to always double dip. So get to here for 300 and then the rest of these, you're going to get stuck on your Arbiter missions anyway. There's so many like late game arena things you need to do. You don't need to do this first like couple of things as quickly as possible is basically what I'm getting at. Okay, tip number 4, gem spend. So we've focused trying to get some gems. First gem spend is the mine because this will start to generate extra gems for you and it stops you from making a mistake and going overboard spending. Next, I'm gonna, if there's a 2x coming up, or maybe I've had bad luck with whatever shards that I've had so far, I'm gonna go and buy 270 gems for 3 goes at another champion because again, early puzzle pieces are very impactful. Then I'm going back and getting level 2 and 3 on the gem mine. Then I'm going and doing the Guardian Ring to level 1, all 5 levels, and then after that, or before the Guardian Ring, sorry, we should go and do the Masteries. So your Masteries, depending on who you get, you can go Masteries after the level 1 gem mine, you can go Masteries before the Guardian Ring, you get Masteries after, and then any gems that are left over should be spent on masteries until you can get your Minotaur 15 done. So masteries, where you want to spend them, kind of up to you. One thing to bear in mind though when looking at clan boss is most of your damage comes from poison, and your poisoners do the same amount of damage whether they're level 30, 40, 50, 60. Poison does a fixed amount of damage, so, you don't need a poisoner to be like level 60. Like this guy here, he's got poisoner at 50. She will do some damage at 50. Right, golden rule for the game, tip number 5, is always double dip and triple dip and quadruple dip. So good example, Arbiter missions, I could have cleared this ages ago. I've got nearly 20 million silver, upgrade an artifact to level 16. If I do this just when the game suggests, yes, I get the artifact, yes, I get the benefit of it being 16, yes, I get to progress with my Arbiter missions, but that's not a massive amount of upside. So I've been waiting for an artifact enhancement event because I may as well get these points, I may as well double dip. We also have clan versus clan starting in 8 minutes. I may as well triple dip and get the points from that, help out the clan. So you want to be doing things like dungeon divers when it's convenient to do so. You want to go looking for gear when you're getting extra rewards, basically. Always be double dipping. Do things that are going to give you rewards and try and focus your time. Like classic arena tournament, make sure you max it out, spend a lot of time doing arena when there's an arena tournament on. Other than that, you're going to afford less time to it. Just spend your 5 daily fights and forget it. Ice Golem, try and pair your Arbiter missions with an Ice Golem tournament, so that at least whilst you're doing them, you can then maybe get some of these little rewards here or whatever. So that's it, golden rule, double, triple, quadruple dip. Okay, tip number 6 is about kind of faction war progression and just general progression in the game. You need to think of the game, as I say, like a puzzle, and each champion you get adds potential further solutions to the puzzle. But do not sleep on free champions that are uncommon, because some of them have actually got potentially interesting kits. Decreased attack on this Elf Guard A1, small version, sure, but it's an uncommon champ, so that's fine. Really interesting A2, decreases current turn meter by 50% on a 2-turn cooldown. For Fire Knight, for Spider, for Faction Wars, that could be a great move. I've got one of these characters, not quite fully booked, but I'm potentially going to build it. Depends what rares we end up with for our Faction Wars. Sacred, we've talked about Armiger. I would always build one of these guys at the game. But Outlaw Monk, if you don't have enough poison, 5% poison for 2 turns on a Force Affinity champ. Again, I'm not saying 60 any of these champs, potentially. Some of them you might, some of them not. Let's say you're struggling on Fire Knight or Lizardmen Faction Wars. Skinner, triple hit A1. The whole mechanic of the Fire Knight is get the shield down. Doesn't matter if this guy's level 20, 30, 40, as long as he gets to the boss and he gets these 3 hits off. If after that you can keep the turn meter fully down, then it's a good champion. He's going to be a piece of the puzzle that will help you get there. If you've got a reviver, you could possibly leave this dude at 30, revive him on the last turn, does his triple hits, his job's done, that's it, doesn't need to do anything else. Also has a strip, removes 2 random buffs on his A2, so really useful for Spirit Keep, really useful for Magic Keep, potentially useful for Faction Wars, gets rid of counter attack. I'm not saying these champs you should build them all, but what I'm saying is go through the index, particularly on factions you're struggling with, have a look at the uncommons, which ones you can get for free out of mystery shards or buying them from the market. You might need heal reduction, you might want AoE. We talked earlier about trying to beat Spider. This is a great champion for Spider. AoE A1. Unfortunately, he's Spirit Affinity, so for stage 10, not useful, but for other stages, potentially. Another really good one to shout out is Zephyr Sniper. AoE A1, which is lovely. 30% chance of putting a skill on cooldown. For Doom Tower, struggling for waves, struggling to get through Faction Wars, 30% chance of random skill cooldown. Awesome. Put her in a stun set. When she can beat Fire Knight enough, then again, she's somebody potentially buildable. Defense based, will hit okay and will keep herself alive. Continuous heal. Maybe in Barbarians you've got no healing in your Faction War team. Bring 1, bring 2 of her. Continuous heal, small version, 4-turn cooldown. Not the end of the world. And there's lots of examples, like Shield Guard is a famous one. AoE fills up his own turn meter 20%, so he crits, hits 5 enemies, gets another turn. Decreased speed, small version, 50% chance for 2 turns. It is defense based, so again, goods champion. And he scrubs the debuff off every turn. So yeah, faction wars, worthwhile progressing. Think of the game like a puzzle. Look for the free champs and missing pieces. Tip number 7: find yourself a good clan. Now, if you have access to Discord, go onto Discord, go onto Hell Hades, go onto Deadwood Jedi, Nub Raids, whoever it is you watch content-wise, go on the Discord and try and find yourself a clan. You want to get into a decent clan because you want access to this here, level 5 clan. You want to be buying 5 and 6 star counter-attack accessories. Really hard to get 5 and 6 star jewellery, guys. Counter-attack is potentially really useful. Can be lots of extra damage on clan boss, can be great in arena. 5 to 6 star, you really want this stuff. You can also get Yannicka, you can get yourself your Kael. You need to be doing some clan quests, so you need to be getting in a clan that is doing something. You also, CVC is so important to getting the rewards, so the blood shield rings, as we talked about, the chance to turn crits into non-crits, getting the rewards out of the tiers. If you can get yourself into a tier 2 clan that is going to clear 1.8 million, you can get yourself a primal shard, epic books, chickens. Look at all these chickens. It's just very helpful to be in a good clan. So go on Discord, try and find one. If you can't do Discord, maybe try Redis. Don't go into a clan that's basically got no CVC limit. You want somewhere with 10k CVC point limit, because again, it just shows the clan is somewhat semi-serious. This is not chatty. Nobody in here chats really. It's a bit of a holder for people who are new to the game, and then you move up into the next clans. But just try and find somewhere that is good, that will get you some CVC wins, get you some extra multi battles and that kind of thing. Okay, tip number 8 is to actually do a proper arena setup team, which I haven't. So few people set their team up properly in arena. None of those teams are set up properly. Again, even most of these aren't set up properly. What you want to do is you want to basically have a speed lead. Let's build a team. I'll show you very quickly what I mean. So you want to have a speed lead with a turn meter boost. So if you got Deke, great. Now at day 30, you could do Haikatoon. They do pretty much the same job, those two. You could do double boost. And then if your nuker is attack based, well, you want to plop yourself a increased attack champion in there. And we of course do get a couple for free. So let's say you've got yourself a Valerie. She does the small version, but you probably don't want to use her because you're going to maybe use her in clan boss. But Spirit Host, keep her at 30. She does big increased attack, and then Kael will nuke down. Deke does drop defense, so obviously that's better. So if you're doing the Haikatoon, then you want to find somebody with AoE decreased defense. So again, I might well use Zargala because I've pulled her, but if you don't, War Maiden free from the campaign. So this is what your early team in the first month should look like. Up until Haikatoon, you want Spirit Host, you want decreased defense, increased attack, and you probably want to pick another turn meter booster. So AoE speed up Darbalist, again, free champion, really useful. So that's kind of how you should be setting it up. Now, I'm going to look at this over the next week or so because I do think I want to kick on with Arena. I don't know whether to swap out Kael for Petrified Rockroot and try and pump her up the 60Q. I think I'm more likely to come in here and do Magnar, because then I can get rid of the increased attack champion and I can do something like Deacon for his speed lead, defense down. I can then do the fusible epic that we're going to get for increased crit rate and crit damage, and then I might pick something like this guy who does AoE weaken, and then I've got decreased defense, AoE weaken, increased crit rate, crit damage, and then I slap with Magnar. That's going to kind of be, Magnar's only 4-star at the moment, so I've got work to do. But getting a decent arena team, you of course want all of your fastest speed gear on your speed booster, because that will let you go first. and then you want to speed tune it so that they all go like in line. Okay, next tip is about tournaments and events. Anything that is champion training in the first month, you want to max out and get all the rewards. Everything. Champion training is so important. You want to be getting as many champs to 60 for clan boss as possible. You want to claim all these rewards. If possible, try and finish on the leaderboard, but check your ego at the door. Don't waste resources going for things. Same with events. Any event that has got champion training in, you want to be maxing it out. Any heroes paths that's got champion training, you want to put as much into it as possible, because it goes back to the double dipping. We're getting points and we're getting rewards for champions. The rest of it, forget it. Early on, there's no point trying to do ice golem tournaments. It takes too long. It's a waste of energy. You're only going to probably end up with the majority of 4-star gear. Even a month into the game, you want to be looking for 5 and 6-star pieces, because it just, 6-star over 4-star for HP percent, for crit rate, crit damage, speed. These things just make such a difference that it's a waste of energy and a waste of time. Farting about on stage 10 of Ice Golem. You're better off investing in your account and trying to get up to the point where you're behaving like a more mid and end game player, doing this, ultimately stage 16 on everything, I think is when you really want to start concentrating potentially on tournaments. One exception, a tournament that I wouldn't ignore, which we don't have one up at the moment, is Tag Arena, because it's quite easy to max those out. You just set your defense up as 1-stars to make sure that anybody in the game, no matter what level they are, can flatten you. That'll keep your score down low, and that'll mean that you'll be able to refresh and find a bunch of fights that you can pick here. You can refresh with gems, not refresh the fights, but you can get extra tokens with gems, and you should be able to max out every Tag Arena tournament. Okay, and then final tip is, in the first month you want to be focusing on 4 or 5 champs to build out for clan boss, for arena, for Doom Tower. So you're looking for epic books to go in only a couple of epic champions. So mine are going to be Ugo and Troggy the Froggy. You're looking to only book out maybe 2 or 3 rare champions. Kael, I'm going to use a book on Valerie, hopefully, to get the A2 down. Rockroot, who we've just got, might well be another candidate for rare books. You want to get awakenings on any champs you can, so if you do have a legendary, a Brimstone will make a big difference, because this does a set amount of damage again, whether it's level 50 or a 66-star. You want to probably get Phantom Touch for a bit of extra damage and an extra hit on at least your best rare champion. And I'm looking out for the Epic Blessing to reduce defense cruelty, which will make a big difference on clan boss. So basically, you want to focus books, ascension potions, jewelry banners when you get them, on about 5 or 6 champs. You don't want to be spreading everything so thin, like a book here, a book there, a book here, whatever. You want to finish a few champions out, and then we can go for the expansion after that. So some benchmarks that we're looking to hit in the early month are Minnow 15, Dragon 13 to 16, Brutal Clan Boss, and Spider 10. Now I've hit a bunch of those, I've still got a bit more work to do on others. But those are the tips. I hope you found the video useful. Any questions, stick them in the comments. I've been the Filthy Casual. Take it easy, guys. Peace.